Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Tiabu. It is late as fuck, and it has been a super long day, but we did a shitload of treasure hunting today, and I want to talk about what I watched and do a quick little run through. This is gonna be faster than some of the other ones. So, along with the five shows that were already airing on Wednesday and Monogatari, I also watched the first two episodes of Blade of the Immortal, which aired today because fuck. And they were absolutely excellent. At least the first episode was. The first episode was kind of a masterclass in atmosphere setting and just really cool stuff. Gritty, violent, disturbing in some sense, and off-putting in its direction and certain shots. A lot of shots, most of the shots, very intentionally so. And I would say it's really good. It had a lot of elements that were reminiscent of some of my favorite older Jidaigeki films, which you'll hear me talk about in the video a little bit. But all in all, it felt like a really solid adaptation of what seems like a really solid, well-regarded manga. So I had nothing but praise for it. Episode 2 was a little bit less heavy on the atmospheric and sort of intent-driven direction, and a little bit more of what seemed like an episodic adventure-y type thing, but it had some serious moments that not serious moments, some moments that seriously clicked and I think hit the mark really well. And I think is more of a depiction of the way that the show will actually function moving forward. All in all, if you haven't seen these episodes yet, I would say check them out because Blade of the Immortal seems like it's one of those modern classic anime potentially if it continues to be solid, and it was so far, so no reason to think it wouldn't be. Okay, that covers that one. Next up is Hataage Kemonomichi. I really enjoyed this. This was a lot of actually. I didn't watch that second. I watched Shinsho Yusha second. Yeah, I got my list out of order. Just remembering it. I watched Shinsho Yusha second. Shinsho Yusha second. Can you tell it's late? I can. This episode fell flat for me, more than the first one, and I kind of expected it to. I actually expected almost all of these shows to fall flat a little bit in their second episodes because a lot of them had really stellar first episodes, and I was just kind of wondering if they would be able to keep it up. Shinsho Yusha was the biggest gap between what I felt about last episode and what I felt about this episode. It still had some of the I guess features that I praised from the last episode, some of the creative facial animation and just fun goofiness, but there were some long portions of the episode where really nothing happened and it was just sort of the characters talking at each other, and I didn't find them very interesting or enjoyable to watch, and there wasn't much going on animation wise to break up any of the monotony. Um the jokes didn't land quite as well as they did last time. The characters felt a little bit flatter than they did last time. It just didn't quite have that oomph that the first episode had in spades, and so I'm dropping it because again, 6 shows. Fuck that. Then I watched Hata Age, and to my pleasant surprise, it was pleasant. I had a really good time with the second episode of Hata Age. It had some really solid and fun and interesting jokes in it. Some sight gags that weren't really addressed, some other things that weren't addressed at all, which is apparently a very Konosuba author type of joke to make, as someone in my Discord remarked. All in all, I had a really good time with it. I love the feel of the show. It's goofy, it's dumb, it's fun, it's funny, and I really liked it. Also, the main girl's character design just continues to grow on me, and if you watch the episode, you'll probably see why. Yeah, that was Hata Age. I will probably watch the next episode of it because I probably won't be able to stop myself against my better judgment. Okay. Then I also watched, even though I said I probably wouldn't, I also watched the second episode of Bookworm, Honsuki no Gekkokujo. I think I got that right, which kind of is crazy. Um, this second episode of Bookworm felt a lot better to me. I don't know whether that was just like the mood I was in or what, but it lacked a lot of the things that dragged the first episode down, at least from my perspective and in my opinion. I'll be interested to see what some of the people who have read the novel thought of this second episode, but I thought that it was a vast improvement in terms of pacing, of lack of the weird framing device, of just general cute and goofiness, and it felt I don't know, it felt more like it was on track than the first episode. I don't really know how to describe it, but if it sounds like if you were maybe interested in the idea of this show and not so thrilled by the execution on the first episode, maybe give episode 2 a shot. Because it was pretty cute and pretty fun, and I kind of really enjoyed it, which I did not expect to be saying, so there you go. Also, the OP and ED on this show are nice. They don't slap or anything. They're not like danceable electro melodies or anything like that, but they're nice. They're really cool. Anyway, yeah. Bookworm gets a thumbs up for me for this week. Nice. Then I watched Ahiru no Sora. I have to say that really carefully because something about the way the R's work in that title mess with me, tongue twister style. Second episode held absolutely held up. It was about as good as the first episode in my opinion, maybe a little bit less because there were when you're getting to know a world, there's always a little bit of an interesting thing there, but characters continue to grow, and we continue to find out interesting things about the characters that we're meeting. And this was a really strong episode. Production didn't falter even a little bit, and everything just sort of clicked, and it felt really good. So I'm gonna continue to back Ahiru no Sora as maybe my dark horse show of the season. And I know that it's way too early to be saying that, but what I'm saying is like I'm backing it early in the race because I think it's that good, and I think it's going to continue to be that good. It's just showing no signs of faltering, and it's even last time I complained about a couple of elements that were like weird sound mixing and stuff. None of that was here. It was just solid. Um, Check it out if you have any interest in sports shonen, because you might be watching the birth of a great one, or the birth of an adaptation of a great one. Yeah. And then I finally watched Oreski episode 2. This was one of those shows that I was really expecting to take a cliff dive off the deep end and just go splat. And it kind of didn't. It continued to be tear your hair out in an enjoyable way, almost in the same vein as Araburu from last season, but not nearly as I hate to use the word again, not nearly as deftly executed and written as a Mario Kata work. But enjoyable nonetheless, goofy and fun nonetheless, some twists and turns that I did not expect. We'll have to see how long it can keep this stuff up, but this episode, it kept it up. It kept going, which is kind of terrible because everything on this day seems to be good, and I don't feel good about dropping any of it except for Shincho Yusha, which kind of fell flat, and I was like, yay, I can drop it. Everything else was kind of great. It's a bit of a problem. So, overall, Blade of the Immortal, thumbs up. Hataage, thumbs up. Shincho Yusha, not bad by any stretch, but it fell flat a little bit in this episode for me, and that's enough on such a packed day for me with no time to drop it. But if you have time, maybe keep watching it, I don't know. Bookworm went from a to a yeah, and Ahiru no Sora stayed at a strong double thumb from me, so two thumbs up and 1023 free point shots, or whatever. Yeah. Also, Oreski continued to be pretty interesting and fun. It's not like the deepest series on the world, in the planet words, but it was enjoyable. So check out some of those things if any of them appeal to you. Check out Blade of the Immortal because it was pretty darn good. And if you didn't know, it's the director is the guy who directed Steins Gate and Texanalize and Shigarui and was animation director on Vampire Hunter D. So give that one a shot. Like, it deserves a shot. There's some cool symbolism in there too. It's like a really cool first episode. So check out what you want to check out. I hope that this helps you decide what you actually want to watch on such a packed day. And I'm going to get some stuff edited and rendered and then probably crash like a light. Just so lots of shows today. That's gonna be it. I've been Tiabu. This is what I watched today. I hope it helps you. Peace.